Hello everyone, welcome to this video lecture on network flow models. First we'll discuss about what is a network, then we'll discuss about network flow models. First, a network is an arrangement of paths connected at various points through which one or more items move from one point to another. For example, highway system is a network where cities are called as points and the roadways are called as paths. The same way, telephone networks, railroad system, television networks, electricity connections, everything is actually called as networks. Next comes network flow models. A model that represents the flow of items through a system is actually called as network flow models. Now, this network consists of two main components. One is actually called as nodes, another one is actually called as branches. In the previous example, cities are called as nodes and the roadways are called as branches. For example, this is actually a network. This is actually called as node and this is branch. And nodes denoted by cities represents junction points connecting branches, that is cities. This is actually denoted by circles. The branches represented by lines connect nodes and show flow from one point to another, that is roads connecting cities. The first node of the network is actually referred to as the origin and any other remaining nodes are actually called as destinations. So here 2, 3 and 4 nodes are actually called as destinations and the first node is actually called as origin. And here there are some values assigned, you can see it. These values assigned typically represents a distance, a time or a cost or a number of items that can be flowed. And the purpose of a network is to determine either the shortest distance or the shortest length of time or the lowest cost or the maximum flow possible between one point of the network to another point of the network. Here while coming to network flow models, we have three methods for solving network flow models. One is actually the shortest route problem, another one minimal spanning tree problem, next comes maximal flow problem. While coming to shortest route problem, here we have to find the shortest distance between an origin and various destination points. If you have 10 destination points, we have to find out the shortest distance between the origin to the first destination point, then origin to second destination point and so on up to the origin to 10th destination point. Here, if it is a minimal spanning tree problem, we have to connect all the nodes in the network so that the total branch lengths are minimized. That is the objective of minimal spanning tree problem. Then, maximal flow problem means the objective is to maximize the amount of flow of items from an origin to a destination point. We will discuss one by one. First is an example for shortest route problem. Here, a shipping company transports oranges by 6 trucks from city 1 to 6 cities, that is 2 to 7. The shipping company manager wants to determine the best routes in terms of the minimum travel times in hours for the trucks to reach their destinations. Here what we have to do is, we have to determine the shortest routes in terms of minimal travel time from the origin, that is from the node 1 to the 6 destination points, that is from node 2 through 7 is actually called as destination points. And the network of shipping routes is given here, right? So this is the origin point. From here we have to transport oranges to all the destination points wise 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on, right? First thing is, this is actually the given network. We have to find out the initial shortest route from the origin. That is, node 1 is the origin point. So we have to determine the initial shortest route from the origin. This is the first step. So this is actually the origin. For that, what we have to do is, we have to find out all the roads or all the routes starting from the origin point 1. So if you consider the origin 1, we have 3 different routes like this: 1 to 2, 1 to 4 and 1 to 3, which is starting from the origin 1, right? So this is the 3 routes which is starting from the node 1. So first we have to take all the 3 routes, and next thing is we have to consider the starting node as permanent set. So the starting node is actually 1. So we have to consider that as permanent set, and we have to denote, or we have to write down all the branches starting from the origin points. So 1 to 2, 1 to 4 and 1 to 3, right? Then after doing this, we have to write down all the time duration for the branches 1 to 2, 1 to 4 and 1 to 3. For 1 to 2 it is 16, for 1 to 4 it is 35 hours, and for 1 to 3 it is 9. After doing all these things, after writing down all these things, we have to find out the shortest duration. The shortest duration is 9 and the corresponding route is 1, 2, 3, right? So I just darkened this 1, 2, 3 route. So this node becomes, that is 1 and 3. These 2 nodes becomes the permanent set in the second iteration process. Right? This is a given network. Now 1 and 3 will make the permanent set. So we are going to put 3 also in the permanent set in addition to 1, right? And after considering it, after considering the permanent set as 3, now we have to consider all the routes starting from origin 1 and the destination 3, node 1 and node 3, right? The starting point is 1. If it is 1, the possible routes are 1 to 2, 1 to 4. We already selected 1 to 3, so we should leave it. And other routes are 3 to 4 and 3 to 6. So we have to take only that into consideration, right? Starting from 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 4. Starting from 3, 3 to 4 and 3 to 6. So we have to consider all these branches by taking the permanent set as 1 and 3. Now we have to calculate the time, right? While calculating the time, we have to determine the total time to all nodes directly connected to the permanent set. The total time means the time starting from the node 1. So for 1 to 2, we can just directly take it as 16 hours. For 1 to 4 also, we can directly take it as 35 hours. For 3 to 4, we have to consider the time starting from node 1. So it is for 3 to 4, to reach the destination point 4, we have to start from here. So it is 9 plus 15. So it is 24. The same way for 3 to 6, it is 9 plus 22. So it is 31. So while calculating the time, we have to start from the origin, because we are going to transport the oranges starting from the origin, right? So if you want to reach the destination number 6, we have to come through city number 3, then only we can just travel to 6. That's why we are adding 9 plus 22 for calculating the path distance from 3 to 6. So it is 31, right? After calculating all the time duration for all the possible branches, we have to take the shortest one again. Now the shortest is 16 hours. So we have to consider this route as permanent set route. So now the permanent set becomes 1, 2 and 3, right? So we have to select the shortest. So this is the given route. Now the permanent sets are 1, 2 and 3. Right? So we have to consider all the routes starting from 1 and 2 and 3. So the routes will be 1 to 4, then 2 to 4, 2 to 5, then 3 to 4 and 3 to 6. Like this. By considering all these things, so 1 to 4, 2 to 4, 2 to 5, 3 to 4, 3 to 6, we have to recalculate the time duration to reach a particular destination. Right? For 1 to 4, we can just directly take it as 35. For 2 to 4 it is, if you want to reach the destination point 4, either we can use this point or we can use this. Now we are calculating the duration for 2 to 4. So we have to add 16 also to this. So 16 plus 12, so it is 28. For 2 to 5 it is 16 plus 25, 41. For 3 to 4 it is 9 plus 15, 24. 3 to 6, 9 plus 22, 31. Again we have to choose the shortest duration, which is 24 hours among this. Now we have to darken this route, and now the destination 4 is also become permanent set. So the permanent set is one, 2, 3 and 4 now. So we have to consider all the paths starting from 1, 2, 3 and 4. We already reached the destination from through some other path. So there is no need to consider 1 to 4 route. Then we have to consider 2 to 5, 3 to 4, 3 to 6, 4 to 17, 4 to 6, 4 to 5, 4 to 7. So all the routes starting from 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 2 to 5, 16 plus 25, 41. 3 to 6, 31. Then 4 to 5. 4 to 5 means it is 9 plus 15 plus 14. So it is 29 plus 9, 38. Then 4 to 7, 9 plus 15 plus 19, 43. For 4 to 6, it is 9 plus 15 plus 17. So 41. So among this, the shortest one is 31. Now we are going to darken this, and we are going to consider 6 also in the permanent set. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 are permanent set. So we have to consider all the routes starting from all the permanent sets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 5, 6. So we have to consider the route from 6 also. We have only one excess route now, 6 to 7. So by considering all these things, 2 to 5, it is 16 plus 25, 41. For 4 to 5, it is 38. 4 to 7, 43. 6 to 7, 45. Among this, the shortest one is 38. So we have to darken this route, and now 5 also becomes the permanent set. So only thing left out is 7. Now if you just consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as permanent set, alright? So the remaining routes are 4 to 7, 5 to 7 and 6 to 7. Among this one is 4 to 7 is, if you just add 9 plus 15 plus 19, it will be 43. For 6 to 7, it is 9 plus 22 plus 14, 45. For 5 to 7, it is 9 plus 15 plus 14 plus 8, so it is 46. Among this, the shortest route is 43 hours. So we have to choose that route, and now the 7 also becomes the permanent set. All the destination is reached, so the iteration is over. So this is our permanent set. If you want to reach the city number 2, it requires 16 hours. For city number 3, it is 9 hours. For city number 4, it requires 24 hours. For city number 5, it requires 38 hours. For city number 8, it requires 31 hours. And to reach city number 7, it requires 43 hours. This is actually called this network of optimal routes. Finally, we can just write the answers like this. From city number 1 to city number 2, what is the route and what is the requirement of hours? We can just display the answer like this. So this is how we have to solve the shortest route problem. Next comes summary of shortest route problem. So here the objective was to find out the shortest distance between an origin and various destination points, and these are all the steps involved. First we have to select the node with the shortest direct route from the origin. Next, establish a permanent set with the origin node and the node that was selected in step 1. That is node 1. Then determine all nodes directly connected to the permanent set nodes. Select the node with the shortest route from the group of nodes directly connected to the permanent set nodes. Then repeat the steps 3 to 4 until all nodes have joined the permanent set. This is the procedure. Next comes the second network flow model method, that is minimal spanning tree problem. Here it is very similar to the shorter route problem, except that the objective is to connect all the nodes in the network so that the total branch lengths are minimized. The resulting network connects all the points in the network at a minimal total distance or length. The steps involved in minimal spanning tree problem solution procedure is given below. First we have to select any starting node. Normally we will be selecting it as node 1 as in the case of shortest route problem. Next, select the node which is closest to the starting node to join the spanning tree. This is also very similar to the shortest route problem. Next thing is, the third step is different from the previous one, which is we have to select the closest node not presently in the spanning tree. Repeat the step 3 until all nodes have joined the spanning tree. It is very simple. We'll see an example. Here there is a television company. It wants to install a television cable system in a community consisting of 7 suburbs. Each of the suburbs must be connected to the main cable system, and the cable television company wants to lay out the main cable network in a way that will minimize the total length of cable that must be installed. So network of possible cable TV paths in thousands of feet is given. The same problem we are just going to take it for an example here. We will see the procedure. We have to start with any node in the network and select the closest node to join the spanning tree. So this is a given network. Alright. So this is starting node. We have 3 different paths from the starting node. So we have to choose the shortest one. The shortest one is having 9 units, which is 9,000 feet. So we have to choose this path first. So we have to connect 1, 2, 3 by using a heavy line like this. Right? Now we have 2 different paths, 1 and 3. Now we have to consider the closest one starting from this point. Right? You should not consider it from origin. We have to consider the length only from the point where you are starting. Right? Now we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 paths. From 1 we have 2 different paths, 1 to 2 and 1 to 4, and from 3 we have 3 to 4 and 3 to 6. Now we have to consider only this length, right? Because we are going to lay the cable, so we have to minimize the total length of cable. So we already connected our origin to the third city, right? Now starting from this we can consider. So among all these 4, 16, 35, 15 and 22, the smallest one was 15. So we can just connect, we can choose this path and we can just connect these two suburbans, right? Now we have to consider the points starting from 1, 3 and 4. So it is 1 to 2. There is no need to connect 1 to 4, already it is connected. So 1 to 2 and 3 to 6. From 4 it is 4 to 2, 4 to 5 and 4 to 7. So we have to consider all these things, 4 to 6 also. We have to consider all these things and we have to find out the smallest one. 1 to 2 is 16. 3 to 6 is 22. 4 to 2 is 12, which is the smallest one up to now. 4 to 5 is 14. 4 to 7 is 19. 4 to 6 is 17. So the smallest one is having 12,000 feet. So now we have to choose only this path, right? And we have to connect these two cities also, right? Now we have to consider the starting node as 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we already established some connection between these cities 2 and 4. So we should not consider these two paths. And from 3, that is 22. 3 to 6 is 22. Then 2 to 5 is 25. 4 to 6 is 17. 4 to 5 is 14. 4 to 7 is 19. So among those 25, 14, 19, 17, 22, 14 is the smallest distance, so 14,000 feet. So we have to consider this one and we have to connect these two cities, right? Now we have to consider all the paths starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is already over. This is also already over. Now we have to consider 3 to 6, 4 to 6, 22, 17, 19 and 8. So among these 4, the smallest one is 8. So we have to choose this one. Right? Now we can connect these two cities by using 8,000 feet cable. Now only city left out is city number 6, and we can consider all other routes starting from 3, 4 and 7, right? 22, 17 and 14. Among these 3, this is the least one. So we have to consider connecting 7 and 6. By 14,000 feet cable like this. Now we can just check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everything is connected. So this is the minimum spanning tree for cable TV network. We can just take the answer from this. For the route 1, 2, 3, it requires 9,000 feet, right? This is given in 1,000 feet. So 9,000 for 1, 3, 4, it requires 24,000 and so on. For connecting all these things 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, 7 and 6, it requires 72,000 feet of cable length. So this is how we have to solve the minimal spanning tree problem. The third one is maximal flow problem. Here the objective is to maximize the amount of flow of items from an origin to a destination point. Here the branches of the network have limited and often different flow capacities. Given these conditions, the decision maker wants to determine the maximum flow that can be obtained through the system. And this type of maximal flow problems can involve the flow of water, gas or oil through a network of pipelines, the flow of forms through a paper processing system such as a government agency, the flow of traffic through a road network or a railway network, the flow of products through a production line system. These are all the examples of maximal flow problem. Given this, we'll just solve the problem. This is a given network, right? We have 6 cities and we have to transport something from Omega to St. Louis. So the company wants to know the maximum number of railroad cars containing tractor parts that can be shipped from Omega to St. Louis during a week, right? Here, the number of railroad cars available to the tractor company on each rail branch is indicated by the number of the branches to the immediate right of each node. So these numbers 6, 8, 4, 7, 4, all these numbers are actually the number of railroad cars available with tractor parts to transport from one city to another city, right? And these are all actually the rail junctions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are railway junctions. So here the objective is to maximize the amount of flow of items from an origin to a destination point. We'll see how we can solve this problem. First step is we can arbitrarily choose any path through the network from origin to destination and ship as much as possible. So I'm just here we have so many paths like 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 4, 6, 1, 3, 6, 1, 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 4, 6. So these are all the different paths available. I can choose any path and I can ship as much as possible by using the particular path, right? I'm just choosing the first path as 1, 2, 5 and 6, right? And here the maximum possible flow is, here we have 6 trucks, 6 cars with trucks. Here 8 cars with trucks. Here we have 4 cars with trucks. So we can, among this, whichever is minimum, that is the maximum possible transportation facility available. So I can just choose this value and that many cars can be transported from or trucks can be transported from origin to the destination. So I am choosing the least number among the entire route, which is 4, right? So that 4 trucks can be transported from the origin 1 to 6 by using 1, 2, 5, 6 paths. So after doing so, right, we have to recompute branch flow in both directions. Here we have 6 trucks available already. 4 is transported to city number 2, right? So it becomes the remaining available trucks will be 2 here, right? So here after emptying the trucks to the other cars available here it will be 4. 4 cars are empty without any trucks here. So the 0 becomes 4 here. The same way here it will be 8 minus 4, 4 and here 0 plus 4, 4. that 4 unit will be transported here. Again, from this, it is shipped from 5 to 6. So 4 cars are available here. So the remaining will be, if it is transported to 6th city, remaining will be 0 here, and the empty car is available here, so it is 4 here. So by using these entire route 1, 2, 5, 6, now all the 4 trucks is transported to destination 6 like this, right? Again, in the next step, we can choose any other path arbitrarily and transport or ship as much as possible, right? This is the network diagram after shipping 4 trucks from origin to destination by using the path 1, 2, 5, 6. Again, I am choosing the another path which is 1, 4, 6. Here, the 4 cars are available with trucks, and here 5 cars are available, right? So the maximum possible is only 4. So I am just using this route to transport 4 trucks from city 1 to city 6, right? So after doing so, the remaining truck is 0 here, and here it will be remaining transport facility is 0, remaining transport facility is 1 here, and here the 8 trucks is transported to city number 6 by using the path 1, 2, 5, 6 and 1, 4, 6. 4 trucks by using this, and another 4 trucks by using this path. Then after doing this, we can choose some other path which is a feasible path available, and we can transport as much as possible. So we already used this path and this path. We have one more path 136. So I can choose this path 136 and transport the trucks as much as possible. Here the facility available is 7 and here it is 6. So 6 trucks can be easily transported without any difficulty by using the path 136. So I am choosing 136 and transporting 6 number of trucks by using this. So the total trucks transported is 8 plus 6, 14. So I am using this path 6. So it will be 1 and here it will be 6. And here it will be 0 after transporting 6 trucks to this unit, and here the facility available will be 6. So totally we have transported 14 trucks from origin to destination by using these 3 paths. Now we have to check whether is there any route is available to transport some more trucks from origin to destination, right? For that, what we have to do is we can just go from backward calculation we can just see. Just we from the 6, if we just go backward, we have 3 different routes: 6 to 5, 6 to 4 and 6 to 3. If there is some facility here only, we can transport truck from the previous cities to the destination city. So here there is no facility available, so we cannot choose this. Here we have one facility, right? And here we have 0 facility. So we have to see whether we can use this one facility to transport one number of trucks. For that, either if we just go backward, so we have 2 different routes, 3 different routes. One is this one, another one is 4, 6, 4, 2, 1, another is 6, 4, 3, 1, right? 6, 4, 2, here there is no facility available, so either we can use this or this. I am just going to use 1, 3, 4, 6 to transport 1 unit of truck, right? So here we have 1 facility, 2 facility, 1 facility. So I can easily transport 1 truck from destination 1 to 6, 1 more truck. So if I use that path, that is 1, 3, 4, 6, to transport one track. So the total tracks transported will be 15 from origin to destination. So here it is 1, 0 remaining, 7 remaining, 2 becomes 1 and here the 2 becomes 3 after transporting one track. And here 1 becomes 0 and 4 becomes 5 after transporting one track to destination 6. Now the total tracks transported as 15 from origin to destination. Now check whether is there any facility available to transport some more trucks. Again look for backwards. Here 0, 0 and 0 facility. So there is no way to transport some more trucks. So this is the optimum solution. By using path number 1, 2, 5, 6, we transported 4 tracks. By using 1, 4, 6, we transported another 4, so 8. By using 1 through 6, 1, 3, 6, we transported 6 tracks, so 8 plus 6, 4. By using the path 1, 3, 4, 6, we transported one more track. So it is 15 tracks altogether we shipped from origin 1 to origin 6. So this is the maximal flow for railway network. This is how we have to solve the maximal flow problem. With all these things, we will move on to an 8th question. A minimal spanning tree in network flow model involves all nodes with cycle or loop allowed, all the nodes with cycle or loop not allowed, shortest path between start and end nodes, all the nodes with directed arcs. What is the answer? Minimal spanning tree means we have to connect all the nodes. There is no doubt in it. With loop allowed or without loop allowed. So it is, we should not allow any looping or cycling. So the answer is all the nodes with cycle or loop not allowed. Right? We should not go to the same city again and again. That is the meaning of looping. So the answer is all the nodes with cycle or loop not allowed. Okay, this is all about the network flow models. Thank you all for your patience hearing. In the next video lecture, we are going to discuss about project network models, that is PERT and CPM. Thank you all.